It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Hey guys, it's DJ Wonder Chrissy coming back at you again. Out here on the patio again this morning with my crazy unhoused birds who are now housed in my backyard. Today we're going to talk about the housing market. I had done a video about a month ago, and the housing market's been really quiet around here. I'm not really an aficionado on the housing market, but something happened in the last month or so, and I decided to do a little bit of research. Based on what I'm seeing, I live in suburban Chicago, 15,000 population town in the northwest suburbs, and the last 2 years the housing market has been kind of cool. I mean, specifically the last 18 months, we get maybe one house on the market, it's there for a month or two, and it's gone. Prior to that, maybe 2 years ago, I mean, it was crazy. There's a house over here that, they were getting over asking price, 15-20% in our town. I knew of townhouses that sold within 2 years ago, and they got a 20% above asking price. But I'm here to tell you those days are gone. There are no over asking prices. So let's talk about, so I think specifically in my town, we are at an apex, right? We are at the highest level of prices right now, and they're starting to go sideways, and I think they're starting to trend downward. And this is why, and I'm going to give you some information that makes me believe that, or why I believe that. So, as I've talked before, I live on a street, there was 30 homes, and up until a month ago, there was no houses for sale for 2 years. Now, in the last month, we have 4 houses on my block, right? That of those 30 houses, 4 of them are on the market right now. Now, granted, we're not talking about financial distress or anything. At least 3 of the homes that I know, the people are moving for good reasons. They're just going for a better job, or they're retired and moving towards family in another part of the nation, things like that. So it's not like they lost their job and we're talking foreclosure at this point. But still, that's a lot of houses. That's more than 10% within a month, right? Like I said, I'm talking the same block, and I'm going to show you 3 of these houses are actually adjacent to my property. And their asking prices range from $450 to $350. They're nice houses. But it's just strange, right? We've gone from no houses for sale, or maybe one every 6 months, to 4 at once on the same block. It's a little bit crazy. And also, I live in a neighborhood. There's probably 400 houses in this neighborhood, and there was another one that was for sale. It was on the market for 1 week, and it ended up selling. But the people who bid on it, they ended up selling at $15,000 below asking price. So whoever listed it, I don't know all the details of that house, but it did sell within a week. for $15,000 below asking. Now the highest price house on our block, the 450, which is a beautiful house, 3-car garage, 2,400 square feet with the finished basement. That 2,400 does not include the finished basement. They said they've got multiple offers below asking, and they're holding out for their asking price, which is $450. So they've been on the market like about maybe 4 weeks now, 5 weeks. So we'll see how that one goes. They're getting some. They say they're getting some traffic. It's just that people want a discount. So, I mean, there's places like California. I mean, the housing market's down 20, 30, 40%. Phoenix, Arizona, market's down. Dallas, the same thing. The market's starting to go down. So part of the problem, too, with some of these towns, I mean, it's the economy. Airbnbs and VRBOs and stuff, people that bought into those things are starting to find out that the rental rates of those have gone down. I've heard that like Phoenix, Arizona, Airbnb rates have decreased by 50% in the last couple of months. So anyone, the flood of people that bought Airbnb homes to rent out are taking their lumps right now pretty aggressively, and it won't be long before those people, have to pull the trigger and need to sell those houses. So, you may see something like that happen in your neighborhood where a lot of houses hit the market if you got a lot of Airbnb rentals in the area. The other thing too is I saw a video, and I watched the Economic Ninja, and he did a video about some of the major banks, Chase, Citibank, and Wells Fargo, and B of A, Bank of America. They went in there and they tried to get a mortgage for some foreclosures. They wanted to know if the bank had any foreclosures, and they wanted to get a mortgage and buy those from them. And, those banks didn't want to sell them a mortgage. He said they changed the topic to how about we sell you a HELOC? So you're seeing bank lending is constricting even at the highest, biggest bank levels. So, getting that mortgage is getting tougher and tougher now that the money supply in our economy is starting to constrict, folks. So, even if you have good credit and a good job, I think right now the interest rates around here about 7.1. But if you're a normal person with a normal credit history, you're probably paying 8.5 in that range. So, the interest rates are reducing the pool of qualified buyers, and the housing industry, as I said, I think we're at the top here. And another reason I say that, I had a family member who bought a $500,000 home about 2 years ago, and I did a quick check on Zillow. And keep in mind, Zillow is not totally scientific, but even that house, which is in our vicinity here, in 2 years, which surprised me too, went from being valued at $500,000 to $600,000. So I expected that house to be at its peak 2 years ago, and that's not the case. So so I'm here today to tell you, there's trends in the housing industry, such as interest rates and supply and demand, right? Really, the major influencing factors in housing is supply and demand. But when you have money constricting going on too at a higher level, that's going to influence it a little bit too. So we've got all these factors kind of boiling in the various areas of our nation. And, you know, I'm here to tell you, too, that just because California's tanking doesn't mean that Illinois is going to tank. But, you know, at some point, we're going to follow California to some extent. Are we going to see houses go down 30, 40% here? I don't know. It depends how bad things get. Was just watching another guy on YouTube that I really like to watch called Jerimah Babe. And he brought up a good point that inflation, people don't realize how bad inflation has been and how long it's been raging. He pointed out that if you had $100,000 in 2015, today in 2023, you would need $128,000 to replace that $100,000 back in 2015. So, in a matter of 8 years, people had their buying power has eroded by 28%, right? Pretty much 28% there. So, you know, in the media, you're hearing inflation's 3%. Well, yeah, it's 3% this year, but you have to add it all up, right? In the good old days, inflation was, 1 to 2%, maybe less, but, you can do that. 5 years of 1% is just 5%. But if you get 5 years where it's 3%, that's going to add up to 15%. So, those are some huge numbers. Inflation is killing everyone, and if you don't think so, you're really delusional. So anyway, let me show you the houses that are adjacent to mine that are for sale. And this is just like really weird and freaky that, no houses have been for sale in this area really. Just one or two every month, 3 months, you see one pop up and takes a little bit and it sells. Now all of a sudden, on my street, there are 4 homes out of the 30 homes on my street that are for sale at the same time. Not a good sign to me. I mean, we'll see how they do. I'll keep you guys updated on how they sell and if they sell and where they're going. And we're doing a little experiment right here on Land Cruiser Midwest about housing. Go figure. I know very little about housing, but now we're doing an experiment, folks. We'll keep you informed. That's all I have for today. DJ Wonder Chrissy, over and out.
You be my neighbor. Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
Okay, so I feel like the guy at Tool Time. Remember Tool Time where the neighbor was looking over the fence? Well, I'm going to look over the virtual fence to these houses that are adjacent to mine and show you what they look like. Here's the first one, and it's for sale. There you go. It's a nice house, 2-story basement, probably 2,100 square feet. I believe they're going to be asking $340,000. So now let's walk over this way, and we have another home. Beautiful home. Now this home is owned by a guy that I know. See, he built a fence here. He's got a border wall there. He's trying to keep out the unhoused birds. But anyway, that didn't stop the unhoused birds. Unhoused birds go right through that fence. So this house is probably like 2,400 square feet, finished basement, $40,000 to $50,000 of upgrades that were done in the last 4 months. And I think he's going to be asking in the mid 400s, 440, 450. And that's a great house. We'll see how fast it sells. It's basically brand new inside. He spent a lot of money on it, and hopefully he gets his money out of it. Now the one directly behind me here, not for sale. Okay? These houses have been around since like 1993. So that one's not for sale. Now this one just went on the market yesterday. 2,100 square feet, basement. I don't know if it's finished or not. 2-car garage. And they're asking $350,000. We'll see where that goes. Now this house over here, it's not for sale. It's a basic, probably like 2,100 square feet, but it's not for sale. And then there's DJ Wonder Chrissy's house, and it's not for sale, but some days I wish I could get out of this state, but for right now, it's not for sale. When I do get ready to sell it, folks, I will let you know, because everyone would want to live in the DJ Wonder Chrissy home, right? So there you go. There you go. And this is Tool Time with DJ Wonder Chrissy. And those are the houses that are for sale. And if you want, you can live next to me. Wouldn't that be great? All right, over and out.
You be my neighbor. Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?